coming up on a special edition of GIS Spotlight. The competition weighs in and the winner is announced. Find out the biggest loser of GIS Get in Shape. But first, hear how diets don't work, but meal planning and label reading never fails. Plus, we'll tell you what fitness fits your schedule and ways to stop stress now and forevermore. Good evening, I'm Heather Hobson. Stay tuned, GIS Spotlight is next. At GIS, we spend most of our days working at our desk, meeting deadlines for press releases, speeches, and television shows. Of course, we conduct interviews and attend meetings. But oftentimes, when we do get up, it's to order takeout. So how can busy professionals stay fit and eat healthy? I didn't have the answer, so I went to the experts at the Health Services Authority to help GIS get in shape.
The Workplace Wellness Program was designed specifically in mind to help to achieve our vision of a healthier society. The program actually focuses on increasing physical activity, promoting nutrition and healthy eating, as well as fostering mental health and resiliency as key elements towards leading a healthier lifestyle. The program will provide you with the support, the skills, and the knowledge that is necessary in the process of change. It will also assist participants in achieving the short-term goals that they may have set for themselves.
Before we begin to lose weight, let's get our excuses out of the way. It's hot outside.
Our time is so limited.
Yeah, too tired.
Planning physical activity is a lot harder when you have kids.
Look at me, I'm fat. I could just start making excuses, just kind of, not taking that time out for myself, really, and putting other things in priority. And which really, at the end of the day, my health is really the priority.
Okay, now we can take the first step on our journey to a healthier lifestyle. When we weighed in, the numbers shocked some. Perhaps the scale wasn't calibrated correctly. After we put our jaws back in place, the nurses checked everything, from body mass index and blood pressure to glucose and cholesterol levels.
I knew I needed to lose weight. I was kind of like getting fat, need to lose some weight, fit my clothes better. But from doing the tests and stuff, find out that I had high cholesterol. That kind of scared me. And the nurse, saying that it was like extremely high. And with the little kids and everything, I just kind of got to make sure I'm around for a while to take care of them. So, learning about that was kind of a wake-up call.
A cholesterol check is basically looking at what's the fat content that's in the blood. So you have the LDL, which is the low-density lipoproteins, which we call the bad cholesterol. HDL, which is high-density lipoproteins, which are the good cholesterol. Triglycerides, which is also another type of bad cholesterol. So individuals need to know what those levels are in the blood, because the bad one especially is what contributes to heart disease.
Blood pressure is the amount of force that the heart uses to pump the blood around the body. It's two numbers, one on top and one on the bottom. The level that we want it to be is like 120 upon 80. It's lifestyle, what you eat, exercise, the amount of rest you take, the amount of stress that is on your body. All of that contribute to high blood pressure.
For the next 3 months, HSA staff will teach about a dozen of my coworkers and I how to not only shed pounds, but keep the weight off. That meal planning and label reading never fails. And what's the point of building muscle if you don't build confidence? To help boost our egos and manage stress, each participant will sit down with a psychologist. To reach our goals, we'll need support of a therapist and each other.
I've tried numerous type of nutritionists or boot camps, and they've all been somewhat successful, but I lacked motivation after a certain time, and I think that doing this in a group setting is going to be way more motivating.
You're not going to want to choose a goal that you're not going to be able to achieve in the short run. It may be for some of the participants that they may just want to drink the 8 glasses of water that they know that they're required to drink. Let it not be a goal whereby you're going to tell yourself, I know I have to lose 15 pounds and I have to lose that 15 pounds within the 90 days. Remember, it's a short-term health goal that the team is looking forward to.
I'm not getting any younger, so So if I don't get into shape now, I'll never be in shape. It should be second nature. That's really where I want to go with this.
I'm not saying I'm in shape, but I think it's good to get in shape so you can be around for your kids, and having low cholesterol and a healthy body will help you stay around longer, and you can do more things with your children.
My goal is to lose the weight, feel good, and be myself back again.
My wife works at Mason, and they're beginning an exercise program October 1st, I believe. And so I can't let her get a step ahead of me, so I have to start doing it myself.
Hopefully feeling better about myself, not only in the weight, but in general.
You can become a part of our virtual support group by logging onto our blog, getinshape.gis.ky. It's important to not only eat healthy food, but proper portions as well. But in the age of supersizes and mega meals, how much is too much? A muffin should be the size of a tennis ball, but this is what's sold in most cafes. A cookie should be the size of 2 poker chips. And fruit should be the size of a baseball. So are you overeating?
Over the years, everything has expanded, so what our normal concept of a portion is has been greatly skewed. Always assume that the portions are going to be, especially at a restaurant, double and maybe triple what you actually need to eat. So it's always good to share meals with people, or share a few appetizers, so you're feeling like you're getting a lot of different choices on the menu, but the portions are still kept within reason. Or you pack it up and take it home, half of it, so you have 2 meals out of 1.
If we are what we eat, we would be
A nice juicy hamburger.
The ice cream and the candy bars.
Fried, deep fried, burritos, chocolates.
Pastry and cake and milk.
If you want to cut cholesterol and lower blood pressure, you must undergo a meal makeover and create a new identity.
I am a bowl of oatmeal. That's the only consistent thing I've been eating over the past little while. Every morning I'll have some oatmeal in the morning, and hopefully that'll bring my cholesterol down.
Green mixed salad.
Well, I guess I could say celery at the moment.
A piece of broccoli.
It's tough to trade in sweet treats for broccoli and Brussels sprouts. According to our expert nutritionist, you don't have to eliminate everything.
We always have to be wary of any kind of diet program that encourages you to cut out whole food groups, because there is government guidance regarding the food pyramid, which means that you need all of the food groups in your diet to achieve the vitamins, the minerals, and all of your protein and energy needs. The foods that have the greatest amounts of energy are going to be complex carbohydrates, and that's going to be quite important if you're increasing your exercise. That includes things like pastas and rice and bread, and certain fruits like bananas. Rather than having refined grains like white bread and white flour products, we can have whole grains, whole wheat bread, whole grain rice and pasta, which would be higher fiber and a better source of nutrition, but still give you that long-term energy.
The kids kind of do whatever we do, which is kind of a little scary kind of thing, because we eat bad, they eat bad. So, picking up a really healthy lifestyle eating, like they naturally get, the whole wheat breads instead of the whites, and it just kind of spools off to them. There's not as many sweets in the kitchen. We give them a little more leeway to have a little extra sweets than we do, but for the most part, they eat healthy when we do.
Don't go to the frozen fruit section. I stay clear of that, and I don't go by the juice section as well either, because a lot of the juices are high in sugar. They may say natural, but they're high in sugar.
Sometimes we think a 16-ounce or a 20-ounce bottle is 1 serving, but if you look at the label, there's actually 2.5 servings in that bottle. So check the serving size.
I really think getting the cholesterol checks and our blood pressure checked, and then speaking to the nutritionist right after, I really think that made me think of food more in how it's affecting my health. Instead of thinking of, oh, that's great, I want to eat that for right now, I think of, well, okay, yeah, but actually that's harmful to me. So I think the nutritional information is just allowing me to make smart, healthy decisions.
You can keep track of your snacks by jotting your diet down and not eating after hours.
A lot of times we underestimate how much that we're eating. So when you are making the commitment to write down, you're not judging yourself, you're just simply writing down everything that you eat, when you eat it, give some kind of estimation how much. You can start seeing patterns in your own eating behaviors. And particularly if you're not achieving the goal that you were setting out and you can't figure out why, that's a good practice to highlight. Maybe there are some things that you didn't realize that you could now go back and start to address. It's good practice to get the majority of your calories earlier in the day so that you're not going to bed and having all these calories on board that you're not using, because then your body will store it as fat. It takes about 2 hours for your stomach to empty after you've eaten, and that will also help from a digestive perspective as well, that you won't be having acid reflux during the night.
If you look at the results, once you start getting into the program, you look at your results, you look in the mirror, you like what you see. That motivates you. It motivates you to continue to try to do better, to try to lose more, to try to get in better shape.
So what if you want to eat out instead of packing a lunch? Some restaurants, such as Solana, offer healthy selections. Otherwise, don't let a menu deceive you. Calories add up on salads. Make sure you request a dressing on the side. Also, avoid cream, cheese, or butter-based sauces. And if you don't know what something contains, make sure you ask.
We no longer chase the chicken or catch the fish. We go to the supermarket and buy it. Kids no longer, I don't know if kids, it's compulsory for them to do physical education at school anymore. And of course you have the fast food places right there with all that high fat, high carb. So we are seeing type 2 diabetes at a younger age. It is thought that you are genetically prone to diabetes, but you don't have to become diabetic. Why you become diabetic is your lifestyle. It is extremely important in all these lifestyle diseases that the lack of exercise and the lack of eating a proper diet contributes to those conditions a lot. If you have a first-degree relative, mother, father, sister, who is diabetic, if you had large babies or you were diabetic in pregnancy, then you should get checked. It's a high blood sugar which is causing the damage to the blood vessels, and the damaged blood vessels are causing injury to the tissue. Your care is in your hands. We are only facilitators. You have to check your blood sugar. You have to make sure you have your medication. You have to make sure you exercise. You have to make sure you eat right. Because most we can do is tell you. But for control, you have to do it. And that's the reason why education is so important. Because if you know what you're doing, if you know why you're doing it, you are more likely to do it.
Every week, a new exercise craze comes to K-Med. We couldn't decide between boot camp, karate, water aerobics, yoga, Zumba, spinning, and everything else promising to bring sexy back. Well, you don't have to make your head spin. According to our experts, you should choose more than one workout.
The reason why you need to mix it up is because if you're only doing cardiovascular, all you'll be doing is working your heart, your lungs to the maximum potential. But then on the other hand, you'll be getting weaker muscles, you won't be as flexible, so you'll still be hindered in your daily activities. But if you're incorporating strength activity, what you're doing is you're building stronger muscles so that you can handle your load on a daily basis. And also flexibility, where I'm not as stiff. I can go down the stairs without going, that kind of thing. So you need all three components.
We found all three components in a swimming pool.
You don't need to be able to swim to do water aerobics. Anybody can. Every age should be involved in this type of exercise. It's so diverse in what it can provide. I can do toning, I can do cardiovascular workouts. I can have people in the water doing rehab that are post-surgical. It can include ages from teenagers to the elderly.
If you like to get up before the sun comes up, boot camp could whip you into shape.
5:30 in the morning tends to be the time that there's no really interruptions. You don't have to worry about taking a break in the middle of the day to go back to work. It rejuvenates your body, it charges you up. You actually feel more energetic throughout the day. Later in the day, it gets a little bit warmer, a little bit hotter out here. The first week is probably the most challenging. After that, it becomes a routine. You get up, you're out there, you're having a lot of fun. It's not as bad as most people think.
If you're a dancing machine, shake your groove thing in Zumba, even if you don't have much rhythm.
From 1 to 10, you got 5.
Only a 5?
You got 5. Yeah, that was
How
good.
can I get to 10?
You just have to be here frequently. The more you do the classes, the more you get accustomed to it, and it's just practice really.
Need to release tension? Become one with the universe at yoga and karate.
We use a lot of visualization as a prelude to meditation. That's the initial step. But as far as what karate is all about, it's all about, first of all, the physicality, getting into shape. That's number one. As you get into shape, your mind gets into shape. Your confidence is developed, you can think clearer, you feel healthier. And as you work from physical to mental, then you get into the spiritual step. So mind, body, and spirit all working in harmony. That's what our style is about. Wado means school or way to peace, and it's all about working those 3 areas of the body.
There was so much stretching, I never realized that I had parts of my body that I never knew existed. I had muscles I didn't realize even could stretch that far. But there is so much energy flowing through you once you start doing these stretches, and it is in such a controlled way that you can thoroughly enjoy every step of it, yet you're getting the discipline of breathing. And so I think I feel so much more easy to speak. I'm not as breathless as I was before I began.
After karate, you won't be afraid to try intimidating classes such as spinning.
Music helps to motivate people. You can create journeys. I've done a ride where we've gone to Easton and back, and I've used, landmarks where people can know. And it's not just about staying in the saddle and just spinning your legs. You give them something to think about, whether it is you're bringing on some wind or you're going along 7 Mile Beach. So we're in and out of the saddle, and you're using your mind, and it's your getaway.
But remember, no pain, no gain.
Our first spinning class is very tough, a little out of breath. A lot nicer than running, it's a little easier on the knees, and I liked it because you can adjust your to your. You just started. I'm tired.
So not motivated to get out of the office and into the gym? Why not work out while working?
While sitting at the chair, I'm doing stretches, or I'm doing some hamstring curls, I'm doing some squatting at the chair, or some tricep presses. Then it gets my heart rate going a little bit more. It helps me to relax, because one of the benefits of exercise is it helps to relax you.
If this is the first time you're exercising, you should be pleasantly breathless. Same thing with the person who's been exercising for many years. When they work out, they should be breathless. There's a difference between exercise and activity. So exercise is activity that increases your heart rate above your resting heart rate. Cleaning your house is certainly activity, but running around the block would be exercise because it increases your heart rate above resting.
If you're not ready for a fitness class or exercise at your desk, there are small steps you can take to get in shape. For instance, park in the furthest space in the lot, skip the elevator, and take the stairs.
In North America, of course, same as in the Cayman Islands, 1 in 3 are dying off due to cancer. 1 in 3 are dying off due to heart disease. 1 in 4 adults in their lifetime develop diabetes. Obesity is one of the major factors. At least we have about 40 persons on dialysis at this point in time. Obesity is also a risk factor for many of the cancers. At least 50% of the cancers, obesity is a risk factor. And also alcohol is a risk factor for cancer of the stomach, cancer of the esophagus, cancer of the throat. Similarly, heart disease, risk factors, lifestyle again, not only diet, exercise, the alcohol use, the smoking, these are the contributing factors. If we are able to change our lifestyle or adopt a lifestyle that's healthy, when we do these things, we can prevent these lifestyle diseases.
When I was young, I used to punch walls. Like when I was 12 years old, my mom and dad's house had 3 or 4 holes in the wall. Now, when I get mad, I just kind of maybe internalize it more, and I won't get mad at the big things, but I'll stub my toe or I'll drop a pencil and get all mad and grab something and maybe throw it or something. But
That doesn't happen too often, I hope.
Nothing in particular stresses me out. I think a lot of times there's days where you just kind of you roll a bed on the wrong side, and you just wake up and you're kind of a little grumpy. But I think maybe arguing with maybe coworkers would be a response to stress, especially Heather.
The crime, you know, changes that are happening, and of course, you know, family. You know, I worry about people in your family, but more the community issues are really what I'm finding stressful.
So how should staff members manage stress? Perhaps a psychiatrist will have an answer.
There are lots of little things that one has to do to take care of oneself, such as organizing work, organizing your day, making communication a very deliberate thing, and actually looking at what you need to communicate to who and by when. Learning to understand oneself so that one can know when to say yes, when to say no. Establishing boundaries around what you do and when you do it. Setting realistic expectations for oneself.
According to doctors, too much stress causes mental and physical problems. It raises your blood pressure, weakens your immune system, increases the risk of a heart attack or stroke, contributes to infertility, speeds up aging, and creates a pain in your neck, and all over your body for that matter. Sounds as serious as smoking. Before we burn out, we learned relaxation techniques and touch of Thai.
Authentic Thai massage is very different from traditional Swedish. They actually use a lot of key energy work, body work, acupressure. They actually get on the bed with you. They use their arms, forearms, knees, soles of their feet. They do gentle stretching. It's like a lazy yoga, so it's very good for the mind as well.
Hello, welcome to La Mer Spa.
A spa is a peaceful haven away from the stresses and strains of everyday life. It's a space where people can have some uninterrupted personal time, and that just doesn't happen nowadays. They need to relax, think about themselves, then they can go out and help others. You don't want to get involved and do the body scrubs and the wraps and something that may kind of freak people out a little bit if it's their first time. So an aromatherapy massage, in my mind, is always the best introduction. Number one, we're using the essence of our spa, which is Yonka Aromatherapy. It gives you a wonderful introduction to aromatherapy. Aromatherapy is a relaxing massage. It's not deep tissue or pressure point. It just focuses on you and you being peaceful. And that's a good start.
If a massage doesn't terminate tension, meditate on yoga.
I always say, whatever the question is, the answer is yoga, because the physical benefits really are unlimited. Everything from general aches and pains can be completely eliminated or at least decreased with yoga. If we have any organ problems as well, yoga is very good for our internal organs. It's great for our lymphatic system. All the breathing exercises are really good for our heart. So, you know, physically, just about anything that ails you, yoga can help with. But you always want to let your instructor know what your physical limitations or discomforts are, so that we can direct the class a little bit, so that you don't injure yourself in class as well.
Stretch your stress management horizons by taking a trip, even if it's on island.
The best thing about the staycation and coming here is really at home. You got to cook, you got to clean, you do anything yourself, and you got to clean up your mess. You come here, we're right on the beach, you got the pool. You basically get to be tourists for the day. You got the energy from the tourists around. You just cut yourself off, turn off the BlackBerry, you're taken care of.
No matter where you go, anxiety impacts your mind, body, and soul. So I headed to church to find out how to become too blessed to be stressed.
I think the most fundamental thing to do is to draw near to God. It's God who gives us peace. Peace with others, peace with ourselves, and peace with Him. And so as we draw near to God through faith in Christ, He washes over us with that tranquility, with that calm that we so desperately need in this busy time.
And if all else fails, turn to comfort food. Brownies are fat-free, right? after 3 months of blood, sweat, and tears. Well, maybe just sweat. But I think I saw Greg cry at least once. The GIS Get in Shape competition has come to an end. Altogether, my coworkers and I shed a whopping 100 pounds, shrunk 18 inches, and dropped 450 milligrams in cholesterol levels.
I think the GIS team did very, very well. I must say that it was one of the better groups working with. I don't know if I'm able to say that on air, but I really truly enjoyed the camaraderie that the team shared, giving each other support, and everybody was enthusiastic not only on day 1 but right into day 90, and that certainly made the job easier for everyone.
At the beginning we really tried to make this a lifestyle approach, and this 3 months was simply a kickstart. It wasn't the end all and be all. Hopefully from the lessons that they've learned, they will continue making some of the healthier dietary choices and continue to regularly exercise. And that's really the key, is consistency. Because if you do something short term, you're going to get short term results. And then if you do long term, you get your long term results.
Each participant achieved different results at the final assessment. The hospital paid attention to 2 measurements in particular.
The main measures that we used to determine the winner was obviously the areas that we felt people were going to be more at risk for cardiovascular disease, and that is of course your waist circumference and also your cholesterol levels. So those 2 areas were key, and then we also looked at weight loss and also the BMI. So in all it was actually 4 areas that were looked at to determine the overall winner.
And the winner is...
First place was given to Charles Gilman. He reduced his cholesterol by 83, and so that was primarily one of the reasons why he actually edged out the person who was placed second and third. Second place went to Lenford, and third place went to Lisa Parks. Heather Hobson came in 4th, but I'd really like to make special mention of Mona. Her numbers were outstanding, but she fell short in loss of her cholesterol is the reason why she wasn't placed. But obviously overall we saw that she did a tremendous job as well. And as a matter of fact, looking at the statistics, each and every member of the GIS team did make some improvement, and that in and of itself is truly commendable.
I did drink some special bush tea called neem tea to help lower the cholesterol. I'm not sure if that really worked or if it was from cutting back on saturated fats in the meats and in the ice cream and the various things that you eat. So I did drink some neem tea for anyone who was interested in that. The prize was wonderful. I appreciate Cayman Airways' contribution. It was great. Appreciate it a lot. But the real prize is like to myself and fitting into some new clothes and looking really good.
I know my cholesterol, I did really well, but only with 10 pounds I thought that, I knew there was other people I think that excelled a little bit more than me, so, but yeah, a little surprised, pleased. I think I'd really like to definitely stay on the same track, and I think there's a few other people too. So, and I think I'd like to make the goal a little bit better. Like I know, Cornelia, one of her goals, she did a marathon. Don't see myself really doing a marathon quite yet, but I'd like to put a larger goal to see if I can meet that.
If you would like to meet your goals, you too can start a workplace wellness program. The Hospital's Take the Challenge competition doesn't cost any money. You just need to invest time, energy, and a team of at least 10 people on the job. Contact Therese Prehay on 244-2632 for more details. Thanks for spending your night with GIS Spotlight. You can continue our journey to a healthier lifestyle by following us on our blog, www.gis.ky. Just click on the Get in Shape banner. Until then, have a productive week.